Hello everybody, this is Tasha once again, and it's another blessed day to be here with you to share this word. This is a continuation from the previous video that we did, and the previous video was about the other video before it. So if you've not watched the other ones, I'd like to ask you to watch them because it's a series that I'm trying to do. And stay blessed, and I hope that God will speak to both of us as we go through this process. So today's, before I go to that, those who watched my video for the first time, thanks a lot, I really appreciate you. And please do click on the subscribe button. And then another thing, if you've been here with me all through, those who have been here with me from a long time ago, from last year or the other year, I really appreciate you, for real. You are a blessing, and I hope to stay in touch with you as we grow in knowing God. So today's topic is going to be about surrender. Now I chose this topic as the way it is because from the previous video we were talking about being still, and that is a situation where you're trying not to do anything while you're waiting on God, but this reaches a point where it calls upon you to decide whether you are still going to be like hoping for some help from somewhere, or you're going to totally surrender. I specifically decided to call it surrender because many people are in that state. Some, not all, because when you look at somebody who maybe is in hospital, or somebody who is on a sick bed, and the doctor has said that like this is terminal, and this thing, like it's not like they're going to survive it, and they know that is what the doctor has said. So yes, you know, initially you were being still and hoping that God would come through, but you are trying everything that you can in your power at some point, because being still does not mean that you be stupid. I mean, you do what God permits you to do concerning the issue. Then you reach a point where now you realize that no matter what I'm doing, this thing is not like getting better. So you reach a point where now you decide to surrender. You decide to surrender. It means you leave your fate in the hands of God, not depending on some help from somewhere. So all you're doing is a point where you have faith. It's not like you don't have faith in God. You have faith in God, but you've reached a point where you've reached a point where now you're resisting that urge to help yourself, because you've tried it and you've seen it's not working. So you've reached where now you've decided, okay, let's see what God has in mind concerning this matter, because this is what these people have said, and this is what I know that God might be saying. Now I come to say what I know that God might be saying from the verse that you're going to share. That is Psalm 78 verse 22. It says, because they had no faith in God and did not trust his saving power. Now I picked this portion of the verse because faith in God comes in different forms, and I know God speaks to us through different means. Some he can speak to you through visions, other dreams, others intuition, others there is that conviction within you. Some maybe it's a song, you are just worshiping and then maybe a new song comes in, or you are in your sleep, you get a new song, or he's trying to give you some information, but he's using a song to speak to you. So God speaks to us in different ways. That is what I know. And whatever you know within you that God is saying over a matter, that is where your faith stands. It's not on what you think is going to happen. It's on what now your faith is based on the word of God, because everything around you is speaking opposite. Everything around you is speaking like this thing, you know, is going down the hill. It's not like there's something going to change, but whatever God is saying over the issue might be different from whatever you're seeing. So this is where now you come to a point where you base your faith on what you know God is saying. Basically, let me put it this way. You are in this situation that is not getting any better, and you know that things are bound to go worse than they are. So when we talk of surrender, we mean that I mean that you have reached that stage in your life where you've decided, if this thing is going to get worse, then I'm going to let God do it His way. And if it's going to get better, I'm also not going to interfere. I'm going to let Him do it also His way. And if you reach that point, it means you are open to either possibilities. You are not like, God, you have to do it this way. You are not like, God, that dream of mine that I had, what is it like, what's going to happen to it, or the things that you wanted to do. You are not looking at it like, how will I accomplish all those things? Now it's where you decide, okay, God, if this is what this is what is going to happen. You know, in life you have two options. You will see in every situation, it's either going to the right or to the left. And one side is going for the better, the other side is for the worst. So in either way you decide, you know what, I'm going to trust you. Now at that level, it means your faith level is not based on things happening your way. It's not based on what you want. It's based on how you want to see God carry you through this situation. Because if it's going to be tough, you will still need God's strength to enable you to go through it up to the end. And whether it's going to turn out in a way that you feel maybe it's not how you expected, or it's not about what people expected. I told you initially, God had a plan for your life. And if He is according to His plan, He knows that you will have to pass through that. There's no other way around it. Just go through it. Trust God, that just pray for God to give you strength, because that is what you need at that point. Strength and peace of mind, so that you don't wander in your mind, so that you won't be absent-minded every time people are talking to you. You're just thinking of how things have gotten worse, and you just wonder like, God, did you really bring me on earth to do this precisely? Sometimes life is weird. I can also talk about myself, like what I sometimes face. There are some things that you can go through and you feel like, if not for the fact that I know God and I know how He would want things to go, not that I'm clear on how it would go up to the end, but I have like He has given you a hint that this is how you want it to be done. If not for the fact that you decide to surrender whatever you wanted to God, I'm telling you, depression is something that can happen to anyone, because you will be looking at everything that you failed in. You will be looking at yourself like a failure. You will be saying like, I did all these things, or even the people around you who contributed to that problem. You see, you'll be like, how could they do this? You understand? And then it happens that it just goes, if the more you go down with those thoughts, it's just a spiral road that if you go through, by the end of it, I don't know, it might even drive you crazy, or maybe you end up with depression or other ulcers, whatever. But when you come to a point of surrender, that is where you now get peace in God. He gives you peace no matter what you are going through, where you feel like you should run for help to other people, but you know they won't do much to help. It's only God. If He intends to help you, then He will help you. So it happens that most people feel like, I don't know how to surrender. Surrender is a point where you come to accept the will of God concerning a matter. And you come to accept the will of God only if you have been praying in a certain way. You might be praying over an issue and you pray amiss because you are praying your will over the issue. You are not praying the will of God. So start adjusting your prayer. Instead of praying like, God, I want this, I want that, I want this. Tell God, this is what I need. But let your will be done concerning this matter. Let your will be done. Not the will of another man, not the will of the enemy, but your will. If you know it's a situation where it's going to end, yes, in a bad way, but still look at this bad way, because everything, the Bible tells us that it works for good for those who love the Lord. And in everything, I know there's something that God has in mind. So let's not be at a point where we are discrediting the wisdom of God over whatever is going on in our life. so that we will be sober. We are not our owners. We don't own ourselves. The breath that we have is from Him. So if He sees it fit that you are alive today, why would you question Him and tell Him, like, why am I alive? It's like somebody was supposed to be alive today and the person is dead. Like, that is what was planned. And in this situation, just try to accept the will of God, in as much as you don't know how it looks like. Because most of the time, even if I'm telling you accept the will of God, I do not know the end. But you need to come to a point of surrender so that you watch how God is going to end this issue without your interference. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video.